It's a great privilege to be here to celebrate what Mr. Nallikannanji have done. His whole life was devoted, and he's still fighting heartfelt emotions and with the strong idea of India. He can't be in the field today, but the way he has throughout life since his childhood taken up the issues which belong to farmers, laborers, and all that he has done, whether he belonged to Congress or to Communist Party. I'm not in the electoral party politics, and I'm the only non-Tamil maybe on the dais. But it is certain that whatever he felt as the vision and for transformation that was during British regime, it is unfortunate that even today many of those issues continue. And therefore, I think while saluting him, while congratulating him for completing 100 years of his life, we have to also take inspiration to continue the similar fight for freedom, for equity, for justice. Why did he face brutality during British regime? And what is it that the social activists who are termed as urban Nakshals, as if Nakshals were urban, are facing today? When we expected a lot due to the martyrdom of many, Ashfaqullah, Chandrasekhar Azad, Mahatma Gandhi, everyone who devoted their life. And when 750 farmers also had to face martyrdom during the farmers' movement today, how can we say that the freedom movement is over forever? It is Nallikanna type of freedom fighters who continued even after independence. When I read the whole story that has come up through interview by P. Sainath kind of person, who is also continuously writing against equity, against inequity, the brutality that he faced was because he knew that whether it is British regime or the government in the independent India, when the farmers are still facing hell, compelled to commit suicide, which is not suicide, which is in a way a murderous system's impact. When he could see that the laborers are facing hell, he continued his fight. And that is the real commitment that is needed today. And hence, I really feel inspired with his contribution and his vision. This party or that party, what we expect is the real idea of India, which would be based on the value framework given in the Constitution. If it is one of the largest democratic country, but no one can really remember Ambedkar in the parliament, what are the real fora of democracy? we give a slogan, Lok Sabha se unchi Gram Sabha. If we need real democracy, that first and the foremost unit of a community, which needs to be mobilized, empowered, and given the space and status, social, economic, political, to use their own natural resources and human resources to have the equitable and sustainable development, then only the vision of those freedom fighters like Mallikarjunji, whether they are Gandhians or communists, Dravidians or Adivasis belonging to indigenous people, that will come true. Otherwise, it is not possible. Mr. Vaiko and others have spoken a lot about the present situation where the fascism and fundamentalism needs to be challenged at whatever cost. When this is what is happening and the alliance is needed amongst the party politicians on one hand and the people's movements like ours on the other, it is this inspiration that we are thankful for. And in Tamil Nadu, which is today considered as a rare state, when a chief minister, Honorable Mr. Stalin, shows that kind of feelings for Mr. Nallikan type of freedom fighter, we really are thankful to him. And the alliance within the parties that also have been contributing on various issues which are raised by the people's organizations and struggles. We expect a lot from the government of Tamil Nadu. I remember that when the 29 of the Labor Act's laws are repealed already on paper, and the 4 codes are being implemented. If Mr. Nallikan was a young activist even today, he would have certainly jumped on the streets and fought to get the 4 codes repealed. Thankful to Mr. Stalin, you have at least taken a position and also not given any contribution to the rules of the 4 codes which were expected from the state governments. In the federal structure of India, when we see that the states are not given the due rights and powers, due status, and are not consulted in various projects which are coming up, and the decisions that are taken, whether it is related to the 3 anti-farmer laws or even the latest agri-business policy that is being imposed. It is not yet finalized, but it has all the aspects which were there in the 3 laws. Mr. Pandian, we will have to continue the fight and unitedly. When it is the minimum support price that is not given to the farmers, and the suicides continue, what to say? This country is facing the brutal inequity that is leading to this kind of situation. And hence the unity of not only the trade unions which the leader spoke about, but also of the farmers and laborers is the solution to come up with the strongest people's movement to assert our right to get the economy and polity which would really be based on the fundamental rights and the directive principles in the Constitution of India. We know that when Mr. Nallikarjunan had to face brutality as much as the police burning his mustaches with his cigarette. The same thing is happening in various forms of violence across India. Whatever may be the reason behind the murder of Mr. Armstrong, the violence is spread all over. When a Manusmriti is taken for discussion and rejection by the students in the Banaras Hindu University, what is it that they face? Attacks by police. Mandir and masjid, whatever is the religion which is personal, not political, what is going on in that name? I just visited Ayodhya. I had gone with the leaders of Communist Party of India on the Martyrdom Day, Shahadat Divas of Ashfaqullah, who were hanged with Pandit Bismillah Khan and others. And their unity beyond the caste and region was something that led to that kind of situation where they tried to loot the British exchequers. Tantya Mama, the indigenous community leader, Adivasi leader, also tried to loot the British khajana and distribute it to the poor. Will anyone dare do it with the handful of billionaires who are holding on the property and earning hundreds of crores per day, while our laborers are compelled to migrate intra-state and interstate without even compliance with the laws that are supposed to be giving them the basic facilities. We expect a lot from the government in Tamil Nadu. We expect that those corporates who are looting the country must be boycotted forever. And that is the power, that is the right of the state in the federal structure. Whether they are giving funds when some natural calamity occurs, as in Wayanad, whether they are given funds for the employment guarantee kind of scheme, whether they are consulted in the huge projects like critical mineral extraction that is coming to be imposed in various 4 districts of Tamil Nadu. What will it lead to as social and environmental and economic impacts on the people in Madurai and other 3 states? No one knows about. We are thankful to Mr. Stalin, the Honorable Chief Minister, for taking a position with the allied politicians of your government against that kind of mineral extraction of tungsten kind of mineral. It is necessary to go beyond that. It is also necessary to question what is happening near Kanyakumari, inside the sea, where ONGC also had to be fought against by the fish workers in various states, including Maharashtra. But now 10,000 square kilometer inside is going to be used as a watch bank for the petroleum, gas, and whatever. Now all this, as the inputs for the so-called development, cannot be rejected forever. But are these projects really taken up after having the impact assessment? on the fish workers who worked so hard during the tsunami. Every calamity, all these natural resource based communities really play a very, very indispensable role. But they are the ones who face impacts whenever such kind of projects are taken up. We expect the Tamil Nadu government to take a strong position, not only against the union government's projects, but the projects which are national. I was told to take 20 minutes. You tell me, otherwise I'll stop here itself. Yeah. So 7 minutes more. Thank you. So it is necessary to really take a position on such things. Otherwise, Mr. Uday Kumar, fighting battles, who is awarded for his contribution against the nuclear power, which is not a renewable source of energy, which is not an alternative to thermal power, which is bringing in the climate change, but 2,000 and more of the local fighters, men and women, are still facing 53 cases. We expect the Tamil Nadu government to withdraw those, as in Maharashtra, there is a government resolution order to withdraw all the so-called political cases and accusations which are criminal and which are false based or ill based when so many years have passed. We expect that the land, water, forest, the source of life and livelihood, is saved. That is what Mr. Nallikannan and all the freedom fighters fought for. That was the colonization of that kind. And the neo-colonization again is based on corporatization, marketization, consumerism, which is really taking over and destroying these resources which are the life support. And the rich people died because of lack of oxygen. Shouldn't we realize that no forest and tree cover on the earth can be destroyed? But whatever is planned in the name of development today needs to be questioned on this issue. Otherwise, it is not possible to save not just the country and our rights, but the humanity and the earth itself. It is very, very necessary, therefore, that when we are celebrating 100 years of life, we really look forward beyond generations to the life of the upcoming generations too. It is therefore necessary to see what is happening in the name of, through the people's movements, where women play a role, but are they secure? Is anyone concerned about what is happening in Manipur? Does anyone feel at heart about the women laborers who are facing death when they travel as migrants and become bonded laborers? There are so many things which this country really got into its hands as citizens of India. Voter citizens, yes, but as citizens we are human beings. And if that basic value framework of equity and justice, of secularism and socialism, which is against inequity, is not followed, then how can we really expect that the people's representatives elected put their hands on the Constitution and take an oath and then get disappeared till the next election? In Tamil Nadu, it is really something that we are thankful for, that whenever the issues are raised, like Mr. Vaiko raised issue, and he's got that project stayed or stalled. Otherwise, it would have affected the people in large number. The Tutukodi sterilite got stopped, where we had seen how Even the police complaints were not accepted, although 13 persons were killed who were even innocent youngsters. And if there is some voice raised again to bring back the sterilite, that was the corporate which was thrown out of Maharashtra years ago. And then the fight took place in Thoothukudi, which is the birthplace of Mr. Nalli Kannan. How can we not support the fight against such corporatization, which is killing the life support of all of us? Friends, we have to really take the inspiration forward. And that is possible because merely discussing in the international summits and having a number of United Nations conventions and covenants will not really help to bring our idea of India coming true. Mr. Nalli Kannan, it is said, has inspiration coming from Gandhi, Marx, Periyar, Ambedkar, Bhagat Singh also. All of these, our mentors, including Mahatma Phule, Savitribai Phule, Aruna Asaf-Ali and all, because in Samvidhan Sabha also, at least 15 women had contributed, you cannot forget it. But when we feel inspired with their contribution, we cannot really support any conflict between Gandhi and Ambedkar, Gandhi and Marx, Gandhi and Bhagat Singh, and so on. We should take all that they have contributed as a vision for India forward. And that is why we really celebrate the life of people like Nalli Kannanji, who have really suffered, faced a lot. But just because the Tiranga comes in our hand, everything doesn't change. It's something that he realized, experienced with his colleagues in the Communist Party of India and earlier in Congress. And that same thing needs to be realized even today. Because that green in Tiranga is the agriculture, the green cover on the earth which is being destroyed. That Bhagwa is the symbol of sacrifice, which is no more valued. It is violence that is to be faced, not with violence, but non-violence, and countered. And there is that white color in the Tiranga. How can we allow the violence to take place and not reach out to every place where it happens in the name of caste or communalism or religion or even the gender discrimination? We cannot just have positive discrimination in the name of reservation. We want the universal policies which will lead to a situation where reservation will not be necessary to be demanded by Pasmanda Muslims, by Dalits, by OBCs, by Marathas, by everyone, including scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. That was to be superfluous, as within 10 years since the Constitution came into our hands, but that has not happened till today. So when we have to really consider that his fight was necessarily for justice, social, economic, and political, while celebrating his life and contribution, we have to take it forward. I'm thankful to all those like Mani, and I don't remember all the Tamil names, sorry for that, but all of whom who have contributed to organize this thing. And we also expect that today afternoon, when we have a convention and public hearing on the land rights, at least Tamil Nadu will become an example how the agricultural land will not be taken over in the name of industrialization or destroyed in the name of development. SIPCOT or whichever agency will have to respond to the people's struggles in various places where we visited. The Bhudan land beneficiaries, with the inspiration from Vinoba Bhave, are still suffering when their land is taken over by industries. And the 13 persons families I met are still continuing to demand their rights. It is land rights of the slum dwellers which also cannot be denied. We are thankful to Mr. Stalin and the government of Tamil Nadu that in the Govinda Swami Nagar, where one small trader felt so much of pain and agony that he committed suicide when the houses started getting demolished. We are fighting the battle across the country to save the housing rights, the right to shelter as right to life of the slum dwellers. Here is the situation where when the voice was raised and Mr. Nallikannan called the Honorable Chief Minister, the Govinda Swami Nagar got saved and they are rehabilitated, not only throwing outside the Chennai, but nearby. We expect all these kinds of criteria to be applicable. We expect the law of 2013, which we fought and got from Narmada to Nandigram struggles, but that is not applied in all the states. We want the Tamil Nadu to show how they can apply that to really have the right kind of just, sustainable, and equitable development paradigm. And that would really give a message across the country where the state governments also will assert their right and we all will join the same path and traverse it, which is with the inspiration given by Nallikannanji. Thank you so much.